The Milwaukee Regionals just finished up, and I straight up said it. I knew I was right. I was right. Single Strike was the play. Single Strike Duraludon won the entire Regionals, and I said Single Strike would be a fantastic pick for in Milwaukee or NAIC, and I was right. I got the VMAX wrong, but I was still right nonetheless. Hey everybody, Nick from 9Card TCG, and today we're going to be talking, of course, about Arceus Duraludon VMAX because it did, as I just mentioned, won the Milwaukee Regionals. And does this mean you're going to see a lot of it? I mean, maybe. It's only a couple of days away before NAIC, and so this was the last of it. So I think people are either going to be bringing it or trying to tech it against it, expecting others to bring it. So it's always a good idea to kind of talk about the list, get a little gameplay, and we'll see how it goes. But before we do, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Those things tell YouTube this is a good channel and other people should watch it. If you're in the market for some TCG accessories, I'm affiliated with Dragon Shield, so you can use the link in the video description to get yourself some awesome Dragon Shield matte sleeves. They're the only ones I use. You show up to regionals looking and feeling like a pro. Lastly, if you want to help support the channel a little bit more directly, there is a join button. You can click it to see all the different perks you get for becoming a YouTube member, but none of that's ever expected. Just you being here is enough for me. Now, with all that said, let's head over to PTCGO and take a look at this Arceus Duraludon VMAX deck. Interestingly enough, the deck that I have picked out for NAIC, which I'm pretty sure I have a deck picked out, does handle, or it can handle, Duraludon, so that's kind of cool. We do, of course, we have Arceus V and V Star. This is a very useful card in this deck because, well, Trinity Nova and Trinity Charge let you power up a Duraludon on the bench, and if you're using Trinity Nova, you can do some damage in the process. Also, Starbirth is a really good card for getting, whatever kind of pieces you need to make plays happen, or just to, advance your board state. Duraludon V here is useful. It has the hard coat ability so that you can take 30 less damage from your opponent's attacks, which means they have to hit for 250 in order to take the one shot on this Duraludon, but you really don't want them to hit into this Duraludon, so we want to go straight into Duraludon VMAX, not even bench the Duraludon V if possible. Duraludon VMAX, 330 health, Dragon type Pokemon, which means, since it's a Dragon type, it has no weakness and no resistance, which is really nice because it's going to be very difficult for things to one-shot this Pokemon. You do have a retreat cost of 3, which is a little annoying, but you are a giant building, so kinda makes sense. Skyscraper is your ability, and it prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by Pokemon that have any special energy attached to them. And there is a lot of special energy in the format. Double Turbo Energy, Fusion Strike Energy. If you're playing Blissey, they play every special energy under the sun. If you're playing Regirock or the Reggies, they have a bunch of special energies. So the only way that those decks are going to be able to, damage you is Blissey, Miltank, and Reggie need a path in play, and Mew does have Max Miracle, but it only hits for 130, and so they're going to have to really pump up the damage with Choice Belts and Power Tablets, but even then, they're not going to be able to one-shot you. You can kind of start to heal or switch into a new Duraludon, and then you swing back with G-Max Pulverization for a big 220, and it ignores all the effects and abilities on your opponent's active Pokemon. So if you're going against a Duraludon and you for some reason have a special energy, it doesn't matter. You could just hit right through it with G-Max Pulverization. You tear through Miltanks. It is a very, very good attack. The one challenging part about this attack is that the attack cost for a fighting double metal energy can be a little difficult, but powering up with the Arceus makes it a lot easier. And those are all the Pokemon we have. Now, I said before that we were going to put Duraludon VMAX directly into play, not even evolve into or from Duraludon V. And how do we do that? Well, we have the Single Strike Mustard, which you can only play this card if it's the last card in your hand. But if you do play it, you can search your deck for any Single Strike Pokemon you want, put it directly onto your bench, and then you get to draw 5 cards, which is really nice. And we have Starbirth and Ultra Ball and Quick Ball to find the pieces we need, discard excess cards, to make mustard happen. We have Pokégears so that we can find the mustard, and then Starburst for maybe like Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, and start just discarding things and make a mustard play happen. We have 4 stadiums. We have 2 copies of Crystal Cave, just to provide a little bit of healing for our Duraludons, and we also have Collapsed Stadium, which is a really nice card in this particular meta because Palkia, Arceus decks, Mew, Regis, they all want to play full benches. So if we can limit how many Pokemon are on their bench and then take a knockout with G-Max Pulverization or Trinity Nova, whatever, it can really put a little bit of a damper on how they plan on playing the rest of the game. Big Charm is a really nice tool card, especially for Duraludon VMAX, because now it's a 360 health Pokemon with no weakness. So knocking this thing out is really annoying, especially when you start including things like healing from Crystal Cave. Now you're constantly healing 30 damage. It can be a little bit annoying. I'm sure there are builds that play things like Hyper Potions and Cheryl's or whatever, but I'm not playing that. I think those can be a little bit more inconsistent, especially a Hyper Potion. We really only want one Arceus in play, so having Arceus VSTAR, once we power up that Duraludon, we don't care if this thing gets knocked out. The way you want to play this is you want to force an 8 prize game. You want your opponent to go through your Arceus VSTAR and then 2 more Duraludon VMAXs. So you really want to make them play 8 full prizes, and knocking out a 280 health and then 2 potentially 360 health Pokemon that have some healing capability can be super annoying, especially if they can't even damage you with special energies. So that's kind of the game plan. We have double turbo energy to help Arceus kind of pull off Trinity Charge and Trinity Nova a little bit quicker. We have some basic energies, Choice Belt to do a little bit more damage, which we honestly might not even need, but it's something. Just nice to knock out some Vs that have 210 health with Arceus, Trinity Nova. Not a bad way to get some 2 easy prizes. Research, Marnie, Boss are our supporters, and that's pretty much the deck. It's pretty simple. The game plan, like I said, is to really not have a lot of Pokemon on your bench, which is also really good against things like Palkia because their damage is based on how many Pokemon you and your opponent have on the bench. Well, if you only have 1 Pokemon on the bench because it's a Duraludon VMAX, they're not going to be putting out nearly as much damage. So that's the deck. Let's go ahead and see how it does. Going into game number 1, and like I said, there's always a bunch of ways to build these decks. I've seen builds that use things like Team Yell Towel to heal a little bit more damage from your Duraludon. I've seen things like Hyper Potion. I've seen Crushing Hammer builds. There's a lot of ways we can play this. This is actually a pretty solid hand. We'll have to see maybe for our opponent Marnie's. I don't really mind a Marnie here. We are playing against could be a Palkia or a Water Box deck, and this Capture Energy might be useful if they throw it down before they know what we're playing. We get an Arceus VSTAR, it's pretty nice. And we're just going to go ahead and attach this Fighting Energy and pass. Nothing else to do. We could have Pokégeared, but I don't really think we need to. Kind of keep it in the deck if they go ahead and Marnie us. And there's the Capture Energy. God, love it, love it, love it. Now, things get a little challenging when we have a bunch of supporters in hand, and we want to say try and mustard. So we can, switch and Ultra Ball, we'd have to get like 2 Ultra Balls from the VSTAR and hit the mustard off the Pokégear. We get the double turbo energy, which is very nice. So let's go ahead and a Pokégear. We don't hit anything. And I don't really want to bench anything else. I kind of want to try to make a mustard play happen. So I have to but I'm not going to be able to. Because I would need 2 Ultra Balls, and then I'd still have to switch, and I wouldn't even be able to get the mustard. So we're just going to go ahead and Marnie here, and if we have to throw down a Duraludon V, that's okay. We don't even find one. This isn't, great. I'm okay throwing down the Collapsed Stadium, I think. Will Starburst? We really need to get a Duraludon into play. Did we? Wow, we prized both mustards. We prized both mustards. What are the odds? Alright, but we got fighting energies and we have a Big Charm, so that's okay. We'll get the... Honestly... We get the Duraludon, and I think we get a Big Charm. And I think we really want to, because we have Marnie for next turn, so that's okay. And we have a switch in case they cross switch or a boss. And now our opponent knows kind of what we're up to here. And Duraludon VMAX is fighting double metal. Always got to make sure you know what energies you're attaching. And we do have plenty of basic energy. So if they throw down like a Temple of Sinnoh, we honestly don't really care if this Arceus V STAR gets knocked out. But we do have another metal energy that we can attach from hand. And there we go. So now with that capture energy, they know they can't play another one onto that other Palkia, because then they won't be able to damage this Duraludon. So haven't seen a lot of Palkias playing capture energy. It's a little... I wouldn't have said before yesterday that it was a little risky. They're getting rid of Path. Very interesting. Path will turn off Skyscraper. I guess they're not really concerned about it because they know that this Palkia is going to get KO'd. And once it gets KO'd, but it would be able to let them bench. They have a Star Portal, I guess. That's probably why they can't afford the Path. Oh, no. That's tough for them. They didn't do anything, so I do not want to play this Marnie. And we're just going to Trinity Nova. And I'm okay accelerating one energy to my Arceus here, just to do. And we'll go ahead and we get an Arceus V-Star, not super helpful, and we get a Pokégear. That can be useful, but not really finding anything that we need. We're kind of lucky that this deck is not doing much. I think the Collapsed Stadium is hurting a little bit. And they're just going to give the Manaphy. That's it. Yeah, I definitely do not want to Marnie them. We'll see if we can find a boss or something. We do. Man, this is not going well for them at all. And we are just going to Trinity Nova once again. We don't need to accelerate any energies. And that's something to pay attention to. My opponent hasn't attached energies. They haven't played any supporters. They haven't done... All they did was offer up a single prize Pokemon to try to buy an extra turn. So really pay attention to what your opponent is doing. I didn't have to play Marnie there. It would have been a really bad idea to play Marnie, knowing my opponent isn't doing anything. So make sure you keep an eye on what they're doing. Don't just, zone out or check out for that during their turn. Let's try another game, see if we can... Maybe our opponent doesn't brick super hard this time, but, if they do, they do. I'm not gonna stop them. We're 2 for 2 on the coin flip, which is pretty nice. We're gonna get to go first here. Hopefully we start in Arceus. We get nothing, but neither does our opponent, so... Okay, that's kind of a wash. We'll restart there. And I do have an Arceus and a double turbo, so that's cool. What did our opponent mulligan? This is just a good chance for us to see what our opponent's playing. They're playing Rapid Strike Urshifu. Not my favorite, but it will be a little hard for them to get through the Duraludons, potentially, because they're usually their only source of fighting energy is the Rapid Strike energies. We're just going to go ahead and attach a double turbo. There's a chance that they win, right? There's the chance that they throw down a V, attach like an Urshifu V, attach a Rapid Strike energy, Melanie to it, scoop up net this Radiant Greninja, hit me with 100 Furious Blows, and win the game. That is a very real possibility. And they're setting up that potential play just because they can, right? They go for the concealed cards with the Radiant Greninja to discard that energy, put it into the discard, It's just a question of, do they have all those pieces? Melanie's going to, they draw 2 cards with the concealed cards. They're going to draw 3 with Melanie. They have to have the Urshifu in play in order to make the Melanie play happen, because you can only Melanie to a V Pokemon. Here comes the Urshifu. My my nightmare is happening. I'm so scared. Oh no. Oh no, this could be so bad. This could be so bad. I'm really hoping they just pass. No, they got the Melanie? Okay. So they need a Rapid Strike Energy and a Switch Air Balloon Scoop Up Net. One of those. Okay. Whoo! That was dangerously close. Oh my goodness. And they're just going to go with the Keep Calling, which is fine. Let's Pokégear. Find nothing. Pokégear. I kind of just have to research here, because I don't have... If I had like an Ultra Ball, this would have been a phenomenal hand, but I don't. So, kind of have to deal with what I got. We got the Arceus. That's really nice. Let's go ahead and, I guess, get rid of a boss for now. We'll get a Duraludon. We have another Mustard in the deck. That's okay. And we will just... I'm going to Starburst, because there's a good chance they knock out this Arceus next turn. So I'm just going to Starburst to do it. And I'm going to get an Ultra Ball and a Mustard. Or do I go... I'm going to top deck something. So the Ultra Ball, get rid of these 2. And then I have the top deck. So I have to kind of hope the top deck isn't a supporter. And energy would be okay. Yeah, I guess it has to be these. I'm super nervous that this is going to get KO'd. I really wish I didn't have to do that, but I did. Because I can Ultra Ball for a Duraludon VMAX. And I'm pretty sure once this Arceus gets knocked out, there's not going to be too much. Okay, so the playable is fine. I just have to really hope that... Like a Quick Ball would be pretty cool, because then I can discard the Pokégear, get another Duraludon into play maybe. I'm doing the muscle because I want to get a second Duraludon VMAX into play. And they got a Rapid Flow now, probably. But the Rapid Flow will not knock out this Arceus VSTAR unless they attach a Choice Belt. Which, now that they have the Sobble, they're probably going to find a Choice Belt. So, they're just going to put damage onto this Duraludon. Yeah, now it'll do enough damage to KO the active. They'll hit for 120. But after that, I'm not sure how they'll be able to handle the VMAX. So, I mean, there's a chance that I just boss up this Urshifu and KO it. Because then all I have to do is get rid of the VMAX before it becomes another VMAX. I don't want to deal with 2 VMAXs. So that might be the play. And then I just go through 1 VMAX there. So we'll see. Because I don't know how this is going to hit. I don't know how they're going to damage this thing. We get an Arceus. It's not ideal. Marnie's not bad. I actually, well, Marnie could be good for next turn. But then I don't make the Mustard play happen. I don't think I make the Mustard play happen either way unless I commit the Arceus, which I really do not want to do. Because then they have to go through 1 VMAX and an Arceus, and I don't want to give them that. So maybe I just continue my play here. And we'll just go with the VMAX. And we'll just do the one. GMAX Pulverization. We get a couple prizes. And they better have a basic fighting energy. So we get a quick ball. That's pretty good because we can quick ball for nothing. And then, you know, we can get rid of our... I don't know how... We got to see what our top deck is, of course. I mean, I'm okay using quick ball to discard our top deck and then attaching this metal energy to the active and then VMAX or Mustard for another VMAX. That's okay with me. I'm super fine with that. So, we'll have to see how things progress. They're gonna... I mean, the best bet is a Path to the Peak, but that turns off their own Greninja, and usually Urshifu doesn't run Path, but this is a different Melanie version that might. Ooh, they might star me. That could be fun, but I don't... They can star me... Oh, they're gonna go in Quick Shooting and Telling on, try to chip away at this thing? I thought maybe Star Me would be an option. Or Basculin, but that has a Rapid Strike energy to Basculin, most likely, so probably won't be that. And I really want to find a Crystal Cave, because then I can just kind of keep healing away that that 20 damage that the Quick Shooting puts on. If they attach and then Raihan, that would be really problematic. But they irritated, so they can't do it this turn. And they do attach an energy. So next turn, this thing, I have to get rid of that Basculin. So Boss might be more important than the Mustard here. Well, I have to get another Duraludon into play potentially. We gotta see what this top deck is. We get a Crystal Cave. That's really nice. And we'll quick ball away. We're not going to get anything. We will just Mustard. Go straight into another VMAX here. Draw a few cards. We get an energy. That's really nice. We'll go Fighting Energy. And I guess we just... Oh man. This thing's going to hit me for 30 plus 80. So 110, 140. Not enough to KO. So that's good. And that gives me a chance to draw. So we'll just GMAX Pulverization. At this point, I really just want to find a boss. They need to get this out of the active, though. So they need a tower or a switch or an escape rope. And if they do escape rope, I just give them this other big skyscraper. So that's fine for me. So now it's going to hit for 230. Still doesn't KO unless they have a Tool Scrapper or a Tool Jammer. But then, oh, they get the tower. Of course they have it in deck. That's fine, I think. They'll scoop up net so they can do it again. Oh no. And I don't run Raihan. I mean, even if I did, I guess if I did, I'd be able to knock out the Basculin, and they wouldn't be able to deal with this last thing here, this last Quick Shooting, or this last Duraludon. So that's kind of annoying. So, you know, you think maybe the Marnie's the best play. Maybe do I Pokégear? Do I try to Marnie? But I didn't have the Pokégear at the time, so kind of had to make the Mustard play happen. At the very least, you know, I'll be able to knock out this Basculin before it does any real damage, and they'll still have one prize remaining, and it kind of gives me time to figure something out. So they'll have free retreat. They still need a water energy on this thing, which they have not played. And they can't use Rapid Strike energy. They go into the Greninja. That means they don't have it. And we got the Crystal Cave. We'll attach an energy here. Let's Pokégear. We don't find a boss, but we do find a Marnie. And I'm okay with Marnie here. Reduce their hand size down a little bit. There's a good chance off this Marnie we find another Metal Energy. Yeah, I guess we can, do I KO this thing? And they just concede. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if we can KO it, but they would be able to use the ability and potentially scoop up that, so I was probably going to anyway, but yeah, very nice. So there you have it, Duraludon VMAX. Even though we didn't have, like, I mean, that game we had some pretty good stuff. I am always a fan of Duraludon. I've liked it since it came out, and I love being able to just throw down that other VMAX into play. What are they gonna do afterwards? All I needed was one more Metal Energy, and it's pretty much game over at that point. So, yeah, that was, I can definitely see how this won in the current meta. Again, Fusion Strike, all the capture energies and double turbo and fusion rapid strike energies, and if you're the one insane person like me playing single strike energies, that's something. So Duraludon's something you definitely, I don't know if you have to really worry about it. Like maybe you take a loss to Duraludon or hope that enough people are going to be countering Duraludon, but it doesn't really help you if in your Swiss rounds if you go up against two Duraludons because it just won, and now you're like, well, I'd take losses to Duraludon, so I guess I'm have an answer if it's, you know, whether it's path or you place, you know, basic energies or whatever it is, echoing horns, and you can kind of target down those Arceus and keep knocking out Arceus Vs that go into the discard pile. Have something. I think that's. But all those cards help against other things too. Path helps against Mew. Echoing Horn helps against things like Reggie's. Collapsed Stadium helps against, well, it doesn't help against what's his face, Duraludon, but playing basic energies is going to help prevent against things, you know, like Whimsicott, I guess, if that's a thing. If someone's insane enough to be playing Shadow Rider and they hit you with Shadow Mist, you can't attach special energies, or I think it's special energies. So, like, there's reasons to be playing all these, you know, these answers to Duraludon. Just have some answer in your deck, and it'll also help you in another matchup, which is really good. I don't think you need to worry about Duraludon specifically. It's just the answers for Duraludon happen to be answers for other decks, and that's pretty helpful. But that's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, found it a little informative. If you did, subscribe, like, comment. Check out the link in the video for Dragon Shield, or maybe join my Discord. Follow me on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's going to do it, and I will see you next time.